Hola, I'm Lisa McCall, here to see you again on a Thursday. I am the Posture Princess. I'm a physical therapist, lover of movement. Today, we are walking, we are going to walk. And I decided today, since I've done a lot of things on walking, I would just get you ready to go for a walk. Go out. What would you really do before you walk? What would be a nice thing to do to prep? And then go out, and what are the things you want to think about? Well, you could start in the morning by putting something on your head to press up so that when you're walking around, you just kind of feel like your head's connected to the rest of you. Some people really feel this a lot. Some people don't feel a lot. Some people say, oh man, that stretches my neck. There's a million things that it could be like. What I want it to be for you is I want you to just feel like you have some sense of alignment. And what I mean by that is you relax your belly, you're standing tall, don't worry about how your body is. Like, oh, I gotta hold my chest down or up. I gotta hold something in. You don't want to hold anything. You want things as relaxed as possible. So if my belly is relaxed and I stretch up a little, then I have to re-relax sometimes, because when I stretch up, there's a lot of tension sometimes because it's new to your body. Then you re-relax and there you are. That's the start. Okay? So let's start with that. And then now let's go into preparing to go out. I want you to find your center. This part of your body, I want you to get connected to it. Where your pockets are. That's part of it, where your pockets are, where your hips are, where your belly button is, where your crotch is. That's your center. It's kind of a broad way of saying it. So I'm going to teach you butt up the air. It's a little stretch. I teach butt up the wall, but this one I'm going to call it butt up the air. Because butt up the air is the same thing. It's just that I don't have a wall and I don't have to use a wall. Okay? So I find the arch in my low back. It's the little arch. If you don't have an arch in your low back, then you might want to stick your butt out a little so you get one. So if your back's really flat and the vertebra is sticking out, you need to kind of put your bottom out. If you're a butt tucker, you need to untuck. Then you put your legs apart and you're going to plant your big toe and you're going to turn your upper thighs out. And then I'm going to turn sideways. Then I'm going to keep my spine really straight, and pretty soon, just like that, you're going to feel a stretch back here. So what you can do is you can just rest your hands on your legs, feel the stretch, and hang out. I got my big toe planted, I'm keeping my butt up in the air, I'm stretching the back of me. And I can hang there. If you're real flexible, you can get to here. If you're not too flexible, keep your arms straight so that your upper back stays straight. And you hang out, your weight is in your heels, most of your weight is in your heels. You have enough weight in your big toe just to keep it on the ground. And then you ease yourself up. And the reason I have you do that is that will start to center you. You will have more of your weight back this way than this way. So I care a lot about the relationship between your leg bones and your hips, because if your leg bones are forward and you're walking like that, you're going to wear out your neck, you'll wear out your back, wear out your knees, and you'll just wear out. But if my leg bones are back a little, sometimes it feels like you're sticking your butt out. So go look in a mirror and see that, wow, even though I feel like my butt is sticking way out, like I feel like I'm this, it's really not. That's why mirrors are great. Mirrors are great. So I got this on my head. I got my butt, it's back here. I'm set to go, almost. What shoes do I wear? Big topic today, shoes. I'm gonna tell you I was a barefoot runner. Minimal is my thing. You have feet to be used. The more you can use your feet, the stronger and more balanced you'll be. So I don't care what kind you use. These are just old Kung Fu shoes, okay? They're just flat on the bottom. If you need to put a little insert in to just make them a little softer, you know what I mean by that. Like you just put an insert because your feet maybe are kind of tender. You can always do that. But minimal is my thing because I know that if you use your feet, you're going to be better off. We could have a whole discussion about all these new kind of shoes out, but before there were minimal shoes, I was running barefoot before anybody even knew to think that way. So what we used to use is cross-country shoes because they were real minimal. And then the minimal thing came, and then all the shoe companies got all excited about zero drop and whatever. Just minimal, you know what I mean? Not a lot there. You know, like old Converses, they didn't have stuff in them. Basketball players were in old Converse. So find something that you feel is comfortable, gives you plenty of room for your toes to expand. You like them, put inserts if you want, but minimal. You're going to use your legs more. You're going to use your feet more. You're going to be glad. In the long run, in the short run, you might have to get used to them. So you just use them a little at a time around the house and get used to using your feet. That's another story to talk about that, but just right now, to let you know, if you just know you can't do that, then get some minimal or get barefoot around your house and slowly ease yourself into being more used to less, on your feet. Easy on yourself. Don't throw yourself at that. Okay, sit down. I just stretched my bottom. Now, there I am. I'm going to walk. All right, if my hips are back, my thighs are back, and I'm stretching up, you don't have to take that with you, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk with a push off. Pushing off, pushing off, pushing off. Okay, what does that mean? One of the easiest ways to know what a push off is without having to go into great detail is to go to a grocery store that has kind of a big cart. You can go to Home Depot, Sam's, those places. Big as in tall. And you don't grip it. Don't do that. Just push it. Push it along. And that push of the cart literally will remind your body how to walk well. Instead of me breaking it down into a million pieces, it gets so complicated. It's better to do something that you kind of already know. Now, also, if you're walking up a hill walking up is very helpful in understanding how pushing off works. Because when you go uphill, you need to use your body to help you move up. Another thing I find helpful is to slightly lean forward. And I mean so slightly. I don't mean way over. Yet I did used to walk way over when I was trying to learn. I would walk around my house and I'd lean over really far like this to feel what was it like to use my foot behind me more, and then the leg in front kind of catches me. Much like an ice skater. Ice skaters catch themselves on the forward skate and they glide with the back leg. So they catch and glide. So you can even play with a little ice skating or skating motion in your house if you want to get that idea. Actually a physical therapist said this to me once when I was showing him this. He said, "Oh, I know what you're doing. You're just falling forward." And I thought, well, that's a pretty good little explanation. This is what he meant. If I'm walking and I'm falling forward, I catch myself with my front leg, which I thought was kind of cool way of explaining it. So those are little tools: skating, cart, catching yourself. Those are tools because walking on flat ground isn't easy. And what I mean by easy, is it's takes more awareness, more feel, more finesse to feel this push off. The cart gives me a little resistance, and that resistance gives me a feel that my back leg is propelling me forward. That feel. So if you have a hill around your house, that's helpful. Go up your hill. Now, just real quick, treadmills are different. They're just different than, flat ground. They move, so it's a different principle, but I do recommend people to put the incline up on their treadmill, slow it down, incline up, down with a slow, like you're walking up a hill. Okay? Because what we're doing is we're using the back of our body to walk. Takes more balance. Another little thing that tends to trip people up, tripped me up at first, is that when I was starting to learn to push off, I tended to catch myself with the front of my toe because I just wasn't used to catching myself with my front leg. So that'll go away over time, but I used to walk and I would push off and I would catch with my front toes. You don't really want to catch with your front toes, ideally, but in the beginning it was kind of hard not to. So I played with the skating or the, gliding. I played with the doing a lot of butt up the walls or butt up the airs, because see, you can stop and you can rest with your butt up and you can hang out there, and you give that about a minute or so, maybe in the morning. Every morning when you wake up, you just stretch and feel that and come back up. You're doing more than stretching. You are literally realigning your body by bringing the center of your body back instead of forward. And the interesting thing about optimal posture is that it's more of a shift of your body. Like if you are a high-level athlete, say basketball, and you're shooting free throws, you are going to find the optimal amount of setup to get that ball to go where you want it to go. It's very subtle. You're going to shift. You're going to feel. Same with tennis. You got that tennis racket, and you really know how to position and shift and change, hand, elbow. So the big key to posture of any kind. See, I don't see posture, this posture, any different than a tennis posture, a golf posture. It's all posture is just you and gravity. The key is awareness. You start to gain a feel. You start to feel where your body is in space. If you're used to hanging out like this, seems pretty normal. Why not? And then all of a sudden you start to go, okay, I'm going to put my hands back here and I'm going to kind of stick my butt out a little and put my weight in my heels. Wow. Okay. This isn't different than learning how to play tennis. It's just another moment of movement in life with your body. But they all connect. If you're a good tennis player, you probably move around your house a lot better than most people. If you're a great football player, depending on what position you play, if you're a wide receiver, you probably move better than most people move. Because your movements are all attached. All attached. And when I have worked with athletes, they tend to have an easier time picking up on what I teach. Because they're already very aware of the small, subtle, skillful movements that make up their game. And then I just help them move it into their life. Now I'm asking you to move your life movements, change them into and then you could change it and put it right into your sport. So that's pretty much it. That's what we're starting with. All right, if you have any questions, let's jump in there. Do we?
Yes. Tyler in Texas says,
Texas.
I don't understand what you mean by tucking my butt.
Okay, that's good because most people think it's real. Normal. All right, so tucking your butt. So I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to put my hand on the base of my spine called the sacrum. You see that? It's in an angle. It's at a slight angle. Most people tuck their butt or told to either tuck their butt or drop their tailbone. And what happens is you kind of have a C curve here. You tighten here, your butt is stuck under you versus sitting out. Think of a wide receiver. They don't have a tucked butt. I'm using visual, okay? Running backs don't have a tucked butt. Sprinters don't have a tucked butt. Somebody who sat at a computer most of their life, they sit like this, slumped over, their butt's kind of tucked. That is a tucked butt. That's the best. I could go into more details, but let's just keep it real simple. You may think, well, yeah, because a wide receiver's built his butt really strong. Yeah, but you can't build a good butt if your muscles are not, if your hip bones are real far forward. These things are not going to build if they're not in the right position. If this bone isn't in the right position, it's hard to build the muscles that are attached to it. That's the best I can do with a phrase like that.
Olivia in Everett, Washington. Should my knees be locked when I'm bending over?
No. And this is challenging sometimes because I tend to have more range of motion in my joints than most people. So it's easy for my body to lock out my knee joints. So slightly unlock them. Now let me show you what slightly is. I take more than slightly for you. I would put your legs apart. I'd bend them a little. And the reason I'm going to do that with you early on is it makes it easier to bend at the hips. If my legs are straight and I try to bend, I'm not going to feel my hips as well. And I want you to gain feel. Okay? I've been teaching this so long that I learned that when people bend their knees a little and bend over, they can feel more in here. And that's what I want you to have. So keep your knees slightly bent when you're doing that. Now in standing, please do not do this. Have this knee bent thing. You keep your legs straight. Your knees are straight in standing. If they tend to lock out, just unlock them. But I've seen so many people bend their knees in standing, and that can create a whole other set of issues. So when you're bending and stretching, go ahead and put a slight bend in your knee, but not in just standing. There we go.
Bill in Tucson asks, what about my arch supports? Bad?
Okay. Did you know you build an arch from your hip? I can show you how to do that one day. I may do that. I'm going to show you how to do that one day. But right now, put your arch supports in your shoes, but get lower shoes. When your feet begin to strengthen themselves, the arch support is not as needed. But if you tend to get plantar fasciitis and you know you need those arch supports, then put them in there. I'm not trying to create another problem by solving a problem, okay? If you can get your arch supports to fit in more minimal shoes, you sometimes just have to buy bigger shoes. And one little trick to help build, I'll give you one little trick to build an arch is, so John, can we put that computer down here? I'm going to take these shoes off. There's 2 or 3 things you can do, but one of them, I'll step back, is okay, cool. Sorry about that. I got muted. All right, so stomping the grapes for your feet. Don't create more problems by taking your arch supports out and then getting bad results from that. Very gradual in strengthening the feet. Very gradual process. Very careful. But without strengthening your feet and without using your feet more, I have seen people end up getting some knee surgeries because of prolonged use of arch support. It's kind of interesting. I watched this for many years because I was barefooting in the early 2000s before Born to Run came out. So, you know, it's been over 20 years that I've watched this. So be smart about gradual foot strengthening. Don't just think, oh, everything's okay, and then run out and get a stress fracture or run around and get plantar fasciitis. I'll do a session on feet one day.
Freddie in Philadelphia says, when I'm pushing, am I pushing from my heel or the ball of my foot?
More the ball of your foot. So your foot is going to kind of like, it's like the whole foot is going to be used and you will be peeling your foot. So I'm going to do a little of that. So here I am. This is the leg we're going to focus on, this one. When I push off, the first thing that comes off is the heel. But I like to try to keep my leg on the ground for a while. Foot on the ground for a while, excuse me. I used to tell myself, I have a gum on my heel. That would keep me from pulling my foot up too fast. So I have weight through my whole foot, and then I peel and use as much as my foot as I can. And usually I feel my ball of my foot the most. So think of peeling the whole foot. Use as much as the foot as possible, but you are going to use less heel and a whole lot more of the forefoot. Good.
Lori in Wyoming says, it seems to me that I'm pushing off with my front leg, not my back leg.
Most people, when they use their front leg, they're pulling. So like, let's say I landed and they pull. If you're using your front leg, it's usually a heel strike, a pull forward, a heel strike, a pull forward. So you're trying to land on the front leg, land on the front leg. Now I'm hopping a little for exaggeration, but I'm using, this is my front leg. This is the leg that catches me. This is the leg that moves me. So when people are using, as we both have discussed, the front leg, it's usually because they hit the heel and they pull themselves forward. And that's what we're doing. That's when your butt is under you and you strike your heel. I'm not a fan of heel striking. Good. Now.
Carla and Williams says, you talk about pushing off from your back leg, but how much do you lift your leg and your knee?
Oh, okay. That's a little advanced. Okay, that's good.
That's the last question.
Okay, so here's what's going on. Don't worry about lifting it a lot early on, except when you're doing stairs, right? I think stairs are a good teacher, okay? So, John, I'm going to use this little thing. So, these are the little stairs for my dogs. Okay, so when I'm walking, I really don't bend that front leg very much in the early stages. I don't really care, okay? I don't care. Later, I can show you some stuff, but in the beginning, not a lot of bend, not a lot of bend. But what if I'm going to go upstairs? It's nice to learn that you're going to go upstairs from the leg behind you. It's a fun thing to learn. We tend to focus on the leg in front, and then we go up like that. But instead, I want you to think of popping yourself up, that this is just sitting here, and I'm going to pop myself up from my back leg, okay? So that's a good practice. Rest, move, move from here, and then move from there. I don't think I was supposed to run. Those are for dogs. Okay, no more questions?
Nope.
Thank you for coming. We're going to be doing this summer, this time, 12:30 Pacific time. I hope you come. I do think I'm going to do something on feet. So if you have questions, you can email me or go to mccallmethod.com and just shoot me something. If you have a foot issue, we can talk about it. So, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next week. And we'll talk about feet.